did make a starter a couple years ago and really went gung ho, but then I decided I needed to back off or I was not going to be able to fit into my pants. And so it's been living in my fridge, and I'll get it out every couple months and feed it and talk to it and then put it back. But there are so many fun recipes that you can do with even just the discard from the sourdough. And you know how you feed it, and then you're supposed to take some away. But I can't imagine in the old days them just throwing that away. There's no way they would have just thrown that away. And so yeah, there's a lot of fun recipes that you can make. And one of them I tried was the English muffins. And for the breakfast sandwiches that you can buy at McDonald's or Burger King, yeah, those are really easy to make. You can make a big batch of the muffins and make the sandwiches and put them in the freezer, and so then you're good to go. So one thing with sourdough is the little scales. If you're going to get in, how many of you have worked with sourdough? Have you? Okay, good. So the little scales where you weigh things, that makes it so much easier and more accurate. Sourdough's pretty forgiving, but if you're gonna get serious about it, I would recommend buying the little scale. But I pre-measured everything at home, so I didn't have to pack all my ingredients with me. And so we're just gonna dump it all in and mix it up. And this recipe, you just mix it up and then you let it sit on your counter overnight for 9 to 10 hours. I eyeballed this at home after I measured it. So hopefully we're close. But so I made 2 batches of dough last night so that we wouldn't have to wait 9 hours before we could roll them out.
Oh.
And so this is the 100 grams of, this is just the discard. I didn't even feed it before I put it in, because you're basically feeding it by adding it to your ingredients. So you mix that. And I am not going to put an egg in this one. You can, the egg is optional. My granddaughters were both allergic to eggs, and one of them has outgrown it to the point where she can eat them if they're baked, but the other one still cannot. And so these are going to go, where'd that garbage can? To their house, because I have a lot of muffins at my house, because I have been practicing before I came to do this. And I should have softened that butter a little bit more, because I thought it'd be soft enough in my car, but like I said, this is probably more of a lesson of what not to do in making the English muffins. And then we have our 25 grams of sugar. And it's nicer to, or easier I should say, to use a KitchenAid or a stand mixer with this. Yeah, so much easier. But if you don't have one, you can do it by hand, like in the old days. And then they recommend adding flour before you add your salt, so that it doesn't kill your yeast. Haven't done any experiments to see if that's true or not, but a lot of times I forget my salt because I'll add the flour and then I'll see the salt sitting there on the counter and it's like, oh yeah. And one of my trial batches that I was making, a few hours later my husband went to warm something up in the microwave and he pulls out this little jar of butter. It's like, oh, did you melt this for something? I'm like, yeah, actually I did. So that batch of muffins wasn't quite as airy. I didn't have the nooks and crannies typically like they do. So yeah, like I said. But they still tasted fine. We still ate them.
Do you have to develop the gluten?
not in this recipe. That's why I like it. No stretch and folds, no coils, no, you just mix it all up, cover it, and leave it on the counter for 9 to 10 hours. I haven't left it longer than that. I know a lot of it you can. I just don't think you want it to deflate, get to the point where it deflates. So
can you use whole wheat flour for your starter?
yes, yep, I did that once. Or you can make your muffins any ratio of white flour to wheat flour. Should have ate my Wheaties this morning. The dough will be sticky and it's really tempting to add more flour, but don't, because that will make it too dense and you won't have those little pockets that English muffins are famous for. So yeah, see how sticky that is? And then you would just cover it and leave it on your counter, or if you need more time, you can stick it in the fridge and then bring it out to warm up and rise some more if you need to. Okay, that one is good to go. We would just cover it and leave it. So, I'm just gonna sit this over here. Get out this one.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I teach scones, I teach them to leave it sticky. But when I go to make the scones, it's not sticky anymore. Do you find that those aren't sticky?
Yes, yep. After the 9 to 10 hours, yep, it absorbs that moisture, the flour does, and let's see. Did you say you had some gloves? I do wash my hands profusely, that's why they're so dry. In fact, my granddaughters, when I watch them, I'll sing the song and rub their bellies. And my one little granddaughter says, "Oh, your hand's soft." They're on bunk beds. And that little granddaughter underneath, she's like, I told her to put lotion on. And she got so mad that Grandma's hand was now soft because she liked Grandma's scratchy hand because it was so dry. And I'm like, well, sorry, just give it a couple weeks and I'm sure it'll be back to how it was. Okay, where's my, I should have done this before I started. And you can use whatever you have to cut the circles. I just use these. You can use a glass or a tuna fish can. I know that was really popular back in the day. Oh, rolling pin? Sorry, Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thought about those when I got the pastry mat out right. Turn this griddle on. It's starting to warm. Is that
Yep,
too
I
soon?
can, no, because that's the other nice thing I like about this recipe is you don't have to wait for these to rise. You can just start cooking them as soon as you cut them out. Or if you do like them really fluffy, thick, you can let them rise. Some, just whatever your preference is. The one thing is, you just want to make sure they're done in the middle. Nobody likes doughy anything, in my opinion. But, and so, oh, should you turn the oven on? Sorry. She's my sous chef, I guess.
It's amazing how thick that is.
Yes, yeah, it does thicken up.
What temperature do you set the griddle at?
About 350. Just so the
350?
so it's hot,
Okay.
but
great.
not,
Thank
you don't want to burn them, but you want them to brown, get that golden layer on. Oh, I've never made these with gloves before. This is gonna be interesting.
So this is is a double batch?
Yes, this one in this pot is a double batch. One batch makes about 12 to 15, depending on how big round you make them. This batch here on the recipe. Whoopsie. Yeah, you can see how it's no longer sticky. It's pretty neat. And then on your cookie sheet, I like to use the parchment paper because they will stick to the pan. And so, and then I like the semolina flour, or you can use cornmeal, but I sprinkle it with the flour and then it gets that golden little crunch to it. And then, like I said, you can roll them out however thick you want them. Let's see, I'm gonna use a bigger cutter. That's what, up here, I wanna trade places. And yeah, some of mine aren't perfect circles by any means, but they're still edible for sure.
So they're almost as delicate as a biscuit, huh?
They are very soft.
Cause
yeah.
you haven't played with it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely soft. I like to use or a spatula or one of those little metal scrapers to help pick it up. But yeah, these won't win any awards for appearance. Or presentation. And if you use the biscuit or the donut cutters, the metal donut cutters, those are a lot sharper. They say if you go straight down instead of twisting, that they'll rise straighter instead of being, but like I say, they taste the same. If you leave them sit, you know, I tried punching them all out first and then trying to take them off, but they start to grow back together. And so I like to just do them one at a time. Yes. Yep. Do not grease your griddle, or you can use a cast iron pan. I like those. I like to use the cast iron pan. They're flatter. I don't know why. They just cook up different. But yeah, do not grease it. Oh, my blade is stick.
What happens if you forget and do it?
If you grease it, they'll still cook fine. In fact, I've seen, if you really want to learn how to do this, get on YouTube. That's all I gotta say. Because it's amazing, the variations and different techniques and recipes and so, yeah, they'll still cook. They'll just have that crispier outside With,
Okay.
I mean, butter doesn't hurt anything, in my opinion, so, nothing wrong with butter. And it takes about 3 minutes aside. You just wanna check them. It's just, like I say, every griddle's different, so you just wanna keep an eye on them, probably check them at 2 minutes to see if they're starting to get golden. You don't want them to burn, but
So Jackie,
yes.
I think I was not paying attention. So are you doing a batch that's cooked on the griddle and another batch that's cooked in the oven?
No,
Oh.
we cook them on the griddle first
To make them
get
brown.
them golden.
Oh, okay.
And then you can put them in the oven to make sure the inside's
Okay.
cooked, especially if they're thick, like these are thicker than the ones I just rolled out.
Mhm.
And they rise as you cook them. And so, you just wanna make sure that inside is
I
done.
get it.
And I have a little thermometer that, you can poke in there to test them. And you want them to be at least to 190 degrees.
190.
190, yep, I think I put it on,
Yes,
yeah,
Sarah.
on there, yep. Just to make sure they're done.
Okay.
I did bring some sourdough starter, if anyone would like a start.
So these can be just sourdough starts for like pancakes or anything.
Well, I wouldn't make pancakes with these, you could make scones or,
But the starter can be.
oh, the starter, yeah, the
Yeah.
starter. The starter, yes, can be used
For any
any recipe. In fact, I was talking to my daughter before I came, and she's in Kansas City, and it was about a year ago, I went out to see her and I took starter with me on the airplane, and was grateful it didn't overgrow in my bag. But she has really done well. She has friends and neighbors that buy her creations, and she had just made a batch of the Cheez-Its crackers we discard. You just take your sourdough starch that's been in the fridge and mix cheese and whatever other flavorings you want, and then spread it out and start to cook it. And then after it's been in, I don't remember how long she said, then you score it and then you continue to bake it. And yeah, the kids were really enjoying them. So yeah, there's all kinds of fun things you could make with them. Yeah, that one's fat.
Wow, yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty fat.
Oh, and you can sprinkle the tops of them with the cornmeal or the semolina before you turn them, which I didn't do. But you can. Remember.
Those are very beautiful.
Yeah, they are. They're perfect.
Yes.
The griddle is a little hot. This one got a little brown.
That's
A
all right.
little black.
I like the crunch. The crust on the bread, that's my favorite. Yeah, my husband and I have to share the ends of the bread. It's like, good thing there's two on each loaf.
So what kind of a mixing bowl is that?
I think it's called an Excalibur. I got this at the old Big John's here in Pocatello, golly, probably 25 years ago. And that thing is a beast. It's still going strong. I would love to know how many batches of dough I've made on that thing, because yeah, it's been amazing. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is a gal, and her podcast is called Amy Bakes Bread. She makes everything, cinnamon rolls, focaccia, that's one of my favorites. That's yummy stuff. Amy Bakes Bread.
Okay, Jackie,
Yes.
that's 3 minutes on each side, and they're looking pretty brown on the bottom.
We can test the internal temperature and.
In the center.
190 and good. Yep.
Okay, so we're done?
Yes.
All right.
Really? Wow.
And so not baking, or the one for baking.
Huh. Yum, yum.
This is that.
That's amazing. I thought they were baked.
Yeah, it's really simple.
Yeah.
That's it. You make the batch of dough at night before you go to bed. Takes 5 minutes, and then in the morning you can make your muffins.
Too bad we can't just buy sourdough start at the grocery store for when we decide we want to do it.
Oh, yeah, would you tell us how you, I thought you had to baby sourdough a lot more than what you said. Tell me
No.
the worst scenario of how lazy you are, or maybe lazy's not the right word.
Oh, it's
but
definitely the right
appropriate.
word. Because I'll see it sitting in there, and I'm like, I really should feed that, and then I just close the door. Maybe tomorrow. But yeah, I have talked to people that have left theirs in the fridge for 6-7 months and haven't fed it. And it will start to separate. It gets that layer of liquid on the top. It's called hooch. And it will even turn dark, and you'll think, oh, that's disgusting, you know? Yeah. And some people mix it back in, and it just depends on how tangy you like your sourdough. If you like that really strong sourdough flavor, then stir it back in. If you don't, you can dump it off, but measure how much you dump off, and then just add back that much water to it. And then take it out, feed it, make whatever you're gonna make, and put it back in the fridge.
Can you freeze it and have it be okay?
Ooh, I don't know if people, I don't know. I know you can dehydrate it, yes.
Yeah, I've laid it out flat, so let it,
Mhm.
dry, and then I just put it in a mason jar,
Mhm.
put it in our storeroom till I want to make that some more, and then it just comes back.
Oh, really?
Feed it a
Nice.
little bit.
What the heck?
Nice. Yes.
I tried freezing
Oh.
starter, and it was in the freezer for about a year, and then I took it out to see if it was still good. And it wasn't quite as robust as it was, because some of those organisms die after being frozen for a long time. Now, I did have a starter in the refrigerator that I forgot about when I'd gone off on a mission in Salt Lake, and I left it in my refrigerator. It was in there for probably about 13-14 months, came back, and it looked like glue, and it had this black layer over it. So I just stirred it in and fed it in about 3 feeds. It was very bubbly and nice.
Nice.
Tasted
See?
great, so,
There you go.
you know,
It's pretty unforgiving. Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, you're on the mission.
You were blessed.
Waits for you.
Can you leave it on the counter, or should you always put it in the fridge?
If you leave it on the counter, then you have to take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you have to
Okay.
feed it daily and separate it. Otherwise, if you kept feeding it, you would have
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, you,
So-
with froze dry, freeze dry.
yeah, we did
Oh.
freeze dry,
Yeah,
and it rehydrates
perfect.
after
Oh,
one
nice.
feeding.
Nice.
After
Really?
what?
After one feeding, it's ready to
Use.
make bread.
too easy.
It is. That's the only reason I agreed to do this.
I'll take a look.
One of my most favorite people in the whole world called me up and said, can I ask a favor of you? And can I tell her
Now,
no?
that one looks doughy, so
yeah,
can you just
Jackie,
stick
look
it
at
up
that.
back on the cooker?
Oh, yeah, that
Right here.
is, that
Should we
is
just stick it in
doughy.
the oven for a few minutes?
Yeah, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea. It's probably thicker than
Can you
the,
just stick it on the grill?
probably,
Turn it over?
but I would just put them all in the oven. Are these ones about done? Did you just stick them on there with it?
2 more minutes to go. So we just wait.
Nope, go ahead and put those in.
Have you ever cut them into squares rather than rounds?
I have not. But yeah, you could do whatever you'd like with them. Be fun to play with.
How long should I put these in the oven for?
We can check them at 5, just because they could look like
Should I set it to
they're done.
Now, being lazy, could you just cut the dough in like 12 pieces and
Oh,
smash
sure.
it down?
Or you could even just take a knife and score it. Your squares, yep, and just slap them on there, yeah. That would be a lot faster.
Would it change how they
Mhm.
rise?
I don't see it why, yeah, I don't see why it would. But yeah, definitely be faster.
You might, if you cut them into squares, your edges will probably be a little bit sharper. When you bite into it, you'll be a little more cognizant of that.
A little more what?
A little more cognizant of the edges being sharper.
Oh. Huh.
Especially the corners,
Yeah.
be really sharp.
Interesting. I'm sure these would be more nutritious than the ones my husband buys that he leaves on the counter for a month.
And they don't mold.
And he can still
Exactly.
eat them.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
yeah. Yeah,
on
that's
the
it. You
houseboat
know what
trip,
you're,
By the end of the week, the only bread that's good is the sourdough muffins.
In 1 week.
yeah, that's it. When you look at the ingredients on products these days, it's like, what are we eating? For sure.
Even with homemade, you still have to be careful with the flour you buy.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Enriched flours are not good for you.
Oh. So you use whole wheat that you grind yourself or what?
You can use whole wheat, you can also use unenriched, unbleached flour, which is a mixture of hard red wheat and
Huh.
Jackie,
Yes.
do you use all-purpose or bread flour?
You can use whatever you have. This one is actually bread flour for this batch, but yeah, it's just whatever you have. Batter.
We're gonna need to bake them.
still yours? That's all right.
You still have one?
Yep.
I want you to cut in half and be done with this.
Yeah.
Could you do an experiment and cut that?
See if that's better. Just a square?
Just in half.
Or triangles?
Or a heart.
Okay. Do that again.
We just wanna see how the edge cooks up different. If it's just straight wood.
Hmm,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Are your other ones done?
Is your timer on?
Yeah.
Just almost exact.
Good.
Should be done.
Okay, what are we doing here?
You're
Square.
you want.
Square.
A square?
Square. That's easiest, I think.
When my son was 3, he asked me to draw him a horse. I gave it back to him. And he said, Mom, I said a horse, not a cow. So that is the extent of my creative abilities, guys. That kind of resembles a square.